Konnichiwa. Hello, my friends and family. This is Bonnie MLG Gaming here. Welcome back to another video, and this will be the final video of 2022. If I'm on time. Today I actually want to talk about Christmas, what happened, stuff like that, and ignore my hair. So let's start with the year. So I did the same thing with 2021. I made a video about 2021 as well. And I said the year was very good. I said the year actually, well, I didn't say it was great, but like I said it wasn't bad. It was definitely a step up from 2020. And that is true. It is. It was definitely a step up, and I was definitely very happy throughout the year. I did have a couple issues, but mostly I was fine. This year, however, it wasn't bad, but it was weird. Like, there was times where it was really good, like at an all-time high, like May was great. And at an all-time low, like, let's say, I guess maybe November or even this month, December. But even in those all-time lows, there were some great moments. Like, I didn't feel empty at all. The beginning of the year, January to February, I will say, and maybe even March, they definitely had some bumps, but there's a couple things, they were definitely not great. They were probably some of the, like, a bit worse parts of the year, but they weren't terrible. When we say worse, we mean not terrible. Like, you could still at least, I guess, live through it. I was happy. That's when I was playing Security Breach and stuff like that, which definitely, I had a good sleep schedule most of the time. A couple times I didn't. It was alright. There was a couple issues with other friends that would go on at the time that I really tried my best to help, and did get solved now, but sometimes just it didn't work. It kept repeatedly coming back. And now let's get to March. March, for the first half, this is when Season 2 of Origins launched, which was great. It had a good launch. It actually launched very well. Like, unlike Season 1 of Alacoba Origins, it had a good launch, and I'm so glad it did, because Season 2 was hyped up, and I'm just glad that it actually had a great launch and did well. But then we get to the end of the month. I almost lost my whole YouTube channel. You could actually find evidence of this, definitely if you're on my Discord server, but you could also find evidence of it on the Season 2 Episode 3 comments. One of the commenters knew about it and was talking about it, and I replied. Thankfully, I got that sorted out, and I didn't lose my YouTube channel. So, thankfully, it's okay, and it's still here for now. But then April comes along. The first, like, couple days, it was alright. But then it got better. Like, that was, like, uplifting. It was, like, an uplifting part of the year. Like, I was doing new things. I was going places all the time. Like, and this is when I was definitely starting to get into my taste of music, like metal and stuff, like Slipknot and stuff like that. And I still am into that music. Eventually, we go into May. In my opinion, May was possibly the best month of the whole year for me, because yes, I got sick at the beginning, but I had a great Alacoba birthday special, and throughout the whole month it was just great. There was an on-time recording session. Like, if you see in May, I had like daily uploads for about a week, and I was happy. I was great, and it was fun. And then summer vacation came along. May was great. June, it wasn't bad, but I definitely was not on track with YouTube, but it wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't horrible. I had a lot of fun that month because I played Friday the 13th with my friend, Kono, and that's when we started playing, like, officially. We only played once before that, but yeah, so I had a lot of fun that month. July, this is when I dropped Friday the 13th and started playing Dead by Daylight, which I made a couple Ghostface videos on it, if you don't know, and I've streamed it, and I will explain the negatives of that game soon. But July was actually kind of rough, because I had a lot of anxiety upcoming event that I was going to get into this thing. It's like a scouts thing, and I was very scared that it was going to be like hazing and a very rough weekend, but no, it ended up not being that bad. And I talked about it, and then it was in August, so then we got to August, and I went on it, and it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. It actually went fine. So thankfully, all that worrying was for nothing, and it was okay. It's just a lot of work. But July was rough because for about a week I was really depressed, and I had days where I was just bawling my eyes out worrying about it, but thankfully I got better. August, definitely a better step because this is when Kenshi joined Alacoba. I know there's a lot of positives about Alacoba. I mean, it's part of the channel, so I count it, and it's something I'm passionate about, but there's just, whenever that's going good, it also makes me do good in, like, normal life, too. Like, I feel happy when something's going good. Kenshi joined as supposed to be a special guest, and that's a fun fact. In episode 12, season 2, which is his first appearance, he was only supposed to be a guest, but because of how much impact he had with Charles and stuff, he came back for the next episode, and we decided, you know what? How about we just make him a normal actor? And he did, and he's actually the co-owner of the series now. But that was great because throughout that month we had some good recording sessions. It was a great time, and it was the final month of summer vacation, and actually it ended at the beginning actually. But it was still fine. Oh, at the end of August, I also went to Tennessee for my birthday. And the beginning of September was my birthday. And that would be the last time Pyre Foxy would come over, or in projects. But let's not talk about him. We will get to him in a minute. But September was fine. Like, we took a break from recording, and then we got back to it. It was an alright month. Actually, never mind. It was actually a great month, because later on, at the end of that month, I got to see Slipknot live. And that carries that month up, because that was awesome. October was rough, because at the beginning, Projects left Alacoba, which I never cared about that, because that's his decision, and I'm not gonna force him to stay into something he doesn't want to do. But yeah. But even then, there was a couple issues I was having at that time. After that night, though, when that happened, like, this is when I was actually starting to make music those past couple of months, and I finished that music that night, and it was rough. The last song was rough, but I'm not gonna talk about that either, because y'all didn't even know about that. October wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't the best. Like, there's some good moments in it. Like, there was Fall Fellowship, which is another event that I went to that really was awesome, and I had a lot of fun there. So there was some great moments there, but there's also some bad ones. Halloween was alright. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't have a great specialty. Like, it still was good, though. I mean, Halloween's always good. I mean, yeah. Then November rolls around, and I start to get back into Dead by Daylight, which is, we're gonna get to that in a second. But I had a lot of issues, and I won't even speak about some of them here. There's a lot of issues that cropped up here, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I started to get really unhealthy. I started wanting to play with Kenshi much more and more, like playing with my friends more and more. And a couple times Kenshi couldn't, which is okay. And he even was starting to get lazy and stuff too, so it was rough for both of us. There's some good moments in November as well, though. There's some great moments. I did some good things that month too. Thanksgiving was awesome. But the one thing is, this is what brings that month down. I got sick for like 90% of the month. I got COVID, and then I got a cold, I think. And COVID, trust me, it's terrible. Alright, you do not want it. You do not want COVID. I promise you guys, it sucked. Like, yeah, sure, you get the body aches and stuff, but then sometimes you'll get some stomach issues and stuff. It's terrible. We go to December. This is when things really took a rough turn. And for both me and other people, I'm not going to talk about much here because I don't want to disclose information about other people as much because I feel like that's wrong. The beginning of the month was one of the most unhealthiest times I've had in a while. Like, it brought me back to December of 2019. And if you look at my older videos on when I made it at that time, you can tell I was drained every time I recorded, and I was like sad and stuff and anxious. I made a mistake because at this time I was trying to play with Kenshi, and he actually got off earlier, but I was getting so paranoid about the projects thing that I started, getting upset and stuff, and we talked it out, and he went to sleep, and I stayed up, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stay up all night. Stupid. And I decided to stream Dead by Daylight. Stupid. And the other thing is, at this time, I was playing a lot of Dead by Daylight, and it was the most unhealthiest thing I've done in a while, because I streamed till like 9 a.m. Thankfully, it was on a weekend, so it wasn't like, it was terrible. Basically, I streamed, and I didn't feel right. I was just like, what am I doing? Like, am I doing what I want to? Like, what am I doing? I legit almost at times felt like just giving up. Thankfully, I pulled myself out of that, though. And I have not played Dead by Daylight since. I'm like, if you look at me like, oh, it's a game. I mean, I play it. I'm like, okay, you play it, that's okay. I don't like to. I mean, I may play it again, like, with friends, but the game is just very draining for me. It's frustrating at times, and it's not something I feel at home with, because I'm very weird with certain things. Like, if they don't make me feel at home, I know it sounds weird, I don't like it as much. I know it's a mental thing that I don't understand. I don't know if it's just me or not. That's just how I feel. Dead by Daylight is not one of those things. But I thankfully pulled myself out of that, and next weekend, I went to another event, and I felt great there, but then I got sick the next day, again, and I was super frustrated about that. And I was sick for about a week, I think. Yeah, about a week. And it was just the flu, so it wasn't really bad. And that was kind of rough because I had a lot of body aches, and this is the time when in projects actually a lot of y'all already know this, but we're not friends anymore, so that's when that happened, and that also made it harder for me, but I thankfully got over the sickness, and I'm getting over that. Things started to look up a bit for me, but then it got bad with some of my friends like Kenshi, and I'm not going to talk about this because I'm not sure if he would want me to mention this, because Kenshi, if you're watching this, I'm not going to disclose the details because I don't want to be rude and reveal stuff without your permission, so don't worry. What happened is safe with you. It's nothing really major, but like I just don't want to talk about something because it was definitely hard for him. So he went through some stuff, and it made me panic. Thankfully, he got better, and Christmas rolls around, and this is when things really started to light up. This is when things got better, and now it's time to talk about Christmas. So as you can tell, let's get the elephant in the room out of here. New gaming chair, no longer that tilted chair and the peeling up here. We got a good chair now. This has been needed, and now when I'm bored, I could just do this. Yeah, so it's a great chair. And then I also got a new amp for my guitar, which I actually will show you down there, right there. Yep, new amp. And I got a record player, which I actually want to show, and I got an album, which I do want to show, because like I didn't show my stuff that I got for Christmas because I didn't feel like it, but you already know that it's gonna be Slipknot related, so yep, one of my favorite albums, if not my favorite, probably my favorite. I've been playing Doom Eternal, which I really don't know if I'm gonna record that because it's a violent game, and it's one of those games I just want to play for fun. So yeah, so it was a bumpy year. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was definitely not great. But I'm actually optimistic for 2023 because I don't know why. Whenever the end of a year, like the end of a year, starts to feel good, things start to look up. That means something's looking up, and that's exactly what happened with me. Even though my friend was going through some stuff, thankfully he's better now. But the week before Christmas, I did a lot of great things. I mean, like, I hung out with friends, and actually, if Asteroid, anybody's watching this, I played Among Us with them, which, as I know Among Us is dead, but, like, we just straight chilled, and we had a awesome time. And I actually want to do that again sometime, but, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a terrible year, but it wasn't great either, so thankfully it's looking up now. Yeah, we just had fun, and the year definitely looked up, and I'm glad it did. So I'm optimistic for 2023. I'm optimistic, and I hope it's a good year. Look forward to a great year, and I hope it is, because for some reason, for me, every odd number year, like for example, like 2021, 2019, something that's like not an even number, they're always better than the even ones, and this year wasn't bad. I won't say that, but hopefully 2023 is definitely better. So anyways, guys, I don't got a lot of time. I gotta edit this. I'll see you next time. Happy New Year's. Bye bye.